Yeah, Dave, I'm a sick sap, sickly in love. That's what I am.
Is it just me?
Hey, everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino, as always, and that is Dave Plouffe. Is not quite sure how he feels about snow. Oh, I cannot wait till we talk about that second one. Oh my God, it was spooky and airy and depressing and all kinds of adjectives for that. But yeah.
It was. I almost wrote down that I would rather watch an episode of The Prisoner, though.
Oh, so you didn't, I figured Edward Stewart even said something earlier on about some might look at it as boring, but there's some deep stuff going on there. And Orson Welles narrates the second episode, which is Secret Snow, Silent Snow. Is that what the title? It's so important. And I got to remember what Silent Snow, Secret Snow. So there you go. Hello, everybody. Welcome Late Late Horror Show. I said that already. Please check out the description below for Dave's link to his channel and all the goodies and everything else. What else can I say? Let me say hi to everybody. Oh my God, what's going on? It's like I'm out of it. Yeah, the chat right on the side. I can't wait to talk about this. Night Gallery. We're hitting it tonight. We're hitting it. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm the Phantom Farmhouse. We got, this was aired October 20th, 1971, and it's kind of a spooky vibe here to this with the Phantom Farmhouse, which
it is.
Werewolves.
I was actually expecting
whatever.
I was only expecting to see 4 episodes within this because I've only done the previous one with you. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be 4 episodes, and there was only 2, and that was really kind of weird.
Yeah. It's just 2 episodes or 2 segments on this one, and the first one, the Phantom Farmhouse, is the longer of the 2. The second one's about 15 minutes, and it's even though the first one deals with werewolves and lycanthropy. What is that? Is that a cobweb going on? Anyways, that's weird. The second one is a bit more spooky for me. So anyways. Let's see. Lizzie Armstrong, good to see you. How are you doing? Connie Clary, Sin City Jim, Edward Stewart, Black Roses, member for 17 months at level 2 support. Thank you very much. Much love to you, all the people who've stuck around. I know I haven't had overnight streams. I figured I'd put maybe 1, maybe 2 up a week so everybody can get together and say hi and, say their hellos and stuff like that. So I did one a couple days ago. I'm not sure when I'm going to do another one, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Anyways, hello, Sailor Outlaw. Good to see you. Raj Ram, what is going on? But Lizzie Armstrong, I said, Harry Scott, Black Roses, what's going on? Gigi, I'll tell you what, more horror content coming in because there's something new that's going to be coming to the channel with paranormal horror. It's a podcast type thing I'm putting together, and it's going to be interesting. So there you go. Anyways, who else? Tune the News, Andrea, Nathan, try not to miss anybody. Gigi, what is going on? Gigi, good to see you. I think I got it. John Swan, I saw. Raj asked something. Dino, listen, I'm trying to make spot for Winslow and Crimson to come on again. I've just been dealing with a lot with the channel, but yes, I would love Doorway to Nightmare. Doorway to Nightmare. Yeah, he revamped the way he does his shows and stuff, and I see him on TikTok all the time. Really cool artwork and everything else, and the stories are great. So definitely go over there. But I will try to have him on in the future. That's for sure. We're doing well over here. Thank you, Dino. Thank you. So here we go. Luke, I'm not your father.
I did ask about Harry. He said he knows how he feels about snow. I'm guessing it's not good.
About snow, yeah. Jeez, I tell you. And it's funny because it's that second segment Silent Snow, Secret Snow that is more that I really want to dig into and get to what was this about, because it's basically a narrated story with Orson Welles' voice, but this kid, it's just very interesting, and you got to figure out what you think is going on, really. And we'll talk about
it
that.
is definitely more. I felt it was very much in terms of Twilight Zone. You know, it had that type of deep vibes, and it also had a Twilight Zone neighborhood.
Oh, it did. That I'll give you. Yes, the neighborhood definitely was like, oh my God, it's going to change. You could tell it's a set from a studio because of the way it's set up and all that. But first thing we're going to talk about is the Phantom Farmhouse.
All right.
This has got David Carradine from Kung Fu, man.
And not only that,
maybe
the second episode, the kid, is it Paul?
Paul, yes.
He plays young Carradine in Kung Fu.
That is right, Dave. What the heck? I didn't even realize that or put it together.
He is young Kung Fu.
Yes.
Probably because you didn't notice he had hair on today.
Shaved head. That is right.
He was in 47 of the 63 episodes of Kung Fu.
I mean, I noticed the kid, and when I was watching, I think I was so enthralled with the storyline that I didn't even put that together. But yeah, you get David Carradine here in the Phantom Farmhouse, who we're going to find out it's a weird situation going on here too. But yeah, Dave, I don't even know where to start with this, because they're at some
Let's start in the treehouse.
We're at some weird Delphinium house is what it's called. It's a crazy house, whatever. It's a place for people to go.
I don't know if it's too crazy or not, because we only
see asylum, he says, but
it is. But a lot of times you can come and go as you want.
Yeah.
So it is. You know, it's not like a loony bin where you're walked away.
I mean, we literally only see like a handful of people, like, you know,
and all of them are regular.
Yeah.
It's only David Carradine that they're all hanging around because he's playing a guitar.
Well, you know, it's again, okay, we open up with this, like, with David Carradine, who's Gideon. He plays Gideon is his name, and he's got a cowboy hat on, and I don't even think he's got shoes. He's Kung Fu again.
Oh, he's got shoes on.
He does got shoes.
They're moccasins.
They're moccasins, okay. But he's sitting there playing a guitar, and he's doing that hippie thing, you know. It's a very hippie vibe going on. And
well, it's 1971. It's 1971. There's drugs. There's free love. There's moccasin wearing. There is, you know, just the beard and everything like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, with David Carradine, his character Gideon, definitely hippie vibe. But then you got the doctor, Dr. Joel Winter, who's their doctor, and you know, kind of is trying to help them out, even though they're coming and going. It's really weird. But he's hanging there. They're all hanging out at these 2 trees. I think it's 2 or 3 trees.
All right. So these are sycamore trees.
Yes.
And it's multi-branched. And around them I put hippie tree houses.
Because it's like a futuristic Planet of the Apes type vibe, like a futuristic kind of vibe. Like Stanley Kubrick made these little steps in the trees. It was weird.
And I'm thinking a prop person did that.
Yeah.
Because I would love to personally go, because that's somewhere near me. I mean, those are the hillsides near us. And
everything we do is near Dave.
It really is. And I would love to go and hang out on those. The one cool thing, being an art person, they are the 3 primary colors. So you have red, you have yellow, and you have blue. And so that were the colors of these discs that were basically, you just hang out on them. You can sit, you can lay, do whatever.
Yeah, it's just a solid circle that's around the trunk of a tree. And with them being bright primary colors like that, it had this like futuristic vibe. And even the soundtrack to the segment it's like Rod Serling had something to do with that too, because when they come up to a scene where music starts to get involved, and it's supposed to be like, it's like boop, 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 like sci-fi. I mean, it was weird.
Yeah.
AOHAM. It was very weird. The music. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, I'm like going, what is going? This is like something out of outer space. Like it's the music don't kind of go with it, but
I agree. But the
yeah.
guitar playing he did definitely did.
Oh yeah. Again, very hippie like at the beginning, and we get these characters talking. And go ahead, Dave. Let's talk about Betty.
Well,
And
before we get to Betty, who I remember from James Bond,
yes, Diamonds Are Forever. He
Diamonds Are
played them.
Forever, right?
Love those early James Bonds.
Absolutely.
Patience,
So,
Grasshopper. Hello, Brian.
one of the people says, like, can't he, why does he keep playing that? And I think it was the lady who said it's his way of talking, and the other guy goes, "Tell him to shut up."
Yeah, the old guy up there, and I don't even know who was
angry
the
old
old
white
guy.
guy. And then David Carradine goes, "Yeah, man, I'll shut up," and he like breaks his guitar, just smashes it on the
Yeah.
little deck that he's on. We do see the gate open, and it's Delphinium House is the placard next to the gate. There's a couple guard dogs, which I read that the guard dogs weren't that fierce, that they just wanted to come up and lick you.
Sure.
During the filming.
You don't want dangerous dogs on the set. No, not at all.
Gideon refers to himself a lot in the third person, and I thought this would be a great tie-in to our Seinfeld, where, hey, look at Jimmy. It was very much like that. His parents in 1971 are paying $39,000 a year to keep him there, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Kind of cool, but kind of like either his parents have a lot of money, and what is wrong with Gideon? They don't go into like what's wrong with him. He's basically just this hippie guy playing a guitar, and he keeps leading people to go off to this old farmhouse.
Yeah,
which he says it's 200 years old. It's a great farmhouse just over the hill. And
fence.
Yeah, and I guess before the story started, I guess they start talking about, because after he breaks the guitar, him, the doctor, and even Betty, they start talking about what happened. And it was, forget the character's name, we don't even get to see that character, but was mauled by wolves or dogs or something like that. And so because he sent this person over to see Mildred, Gideon. He's like, she's a beautiful woman. She's lovely. And
it was weird. He wrote like a letter of introduction. Like, hey, here's my friend. We're going to hang out. Everything's cool,
Yeah.
Make sure you drink from the well. It's ice cold water.
Yeah, no, Harry Scott, the new James Bond is not female. It's Alba. What's that guy's name? He's a black gentleman. Alba. He does the British. Oh my God, I wish I knew his name. But that's who's doing it. Alba is his last name. Just put in James Bond, Alba, Alba. I can't remember his first name. That drives me nuts. But he's the one that's going to be doing James Bond. So he is a British actor, and I think he'll do a great job. I've seen him in some stuff, and it is a little bit different, but we haven't had a black James Bond before. So, but they were hinting, like Harry said, of a female at the end of the last movie, and that's where I was going to go. No, it's got to be no. I guess it could be a female. I don't know. Listen, bring him on. And Idris Elba. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Harry Scott. I couldn't think of it, but yes, Idris Elba, and he should be do a good job. But okay, Dave. Yeah, they're sitting around. And Betty, she was only in like four things. Hey, sweet Indigo.
Not very much. But one of the things during the film that we saw is that he talked about psychiatrists and think tanks are killing our country.
Oh, and I started off this thing going, sick sap sickly in love is what the guy was that was mauled, that was going to see Mildred, and that's why I had to add that. That was just a good line. But go ahead, yeah.
Well, also, I'm going to talk to Nathan real quick. He said we almost had Adam West as Bond. We also almost had the guy on Columbo. One of the regular killers was going to be James Bond as well.
And that was, you can't remember? Okay, it
he was
doesn't matter.
the guy on Silver Streak.
Okay, yeah. I know who you're talking about. We'll go on. WWM, what's going on? Good to see you. And hello again, Sweet Indigo. Good to have you here. Good to see some people here, that's for sure. The channels had a big drop in viewership because no overnight streams, but thank you all to who are here and enjoying me and Dave on Sundays. So, and I did Patrick McGowan. Okay, that's yeah. That's it. So yeah, where do we go then? Because they're all around the tree talking. And
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you have a tough time hearing him say croquet? Because every time I heard it, it sounded like cocaine.
No, he that was croquet. I thought he was saying cocaine.
Yeah, he was saying, "Let's go play croquet." And I
thought he was saying everybody cocaine, and yeah. I'm like going, wait, what? I mean, I would think he's not allowed to have that there. And hey, JLR,
who knows what they're doing at this sanitarium? What? But later in the film, in the episode, you see him kind of like tap his head with the croquet mallet. That was like their
oh my gosh! Thing. I thought he was saying cocaine. That was very weird. Yeah, it's a very weird facility. It's an episode of Night Gallery, and you know, fences are low, and anybody can come and go as they please, like they've said. And again, we only see like 4 people. Literally, it's Betty, the 2 doctors, and Gideon. Really,
yeah.
And then the whole
and then the other family.
Well, yeah. Then it revolves around the Squire family, which is Mildred. Which, I mean, do we just throw it right out there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And WWM says, I got my master's degree. Congratulations.
Yay. Good for you, WWM. What would we put at the end of WWM? Master's degree?
MA.
Okay, WWM, MA.
M period, A period, yeah.
Okay, so you might want to add that to your name on there now.
Absolutely.
Maybe. I don't know. But go ahead, Dave. Take us away.
Well, we're hearing the story. Basically, this guy, the doctor, is walking down this pathway now, and it's something quite honestly.
Is it a pathway or a pathway?
It is Little House on the Prairie is what it is. Okay. And he's literally walking through fields, and he's walking, trying to look for the ruins of this home that he keeps hearing about. And all that's supposed to be left standing is the chimney, and he's walking around, and he hears Gideon's voice going, "You're almost there, Doc."
Well, yes. And a little bit later on, we're told that by Pierre, who's a sheep herder in the area, that, what do you mean? And he speaks Mexican kind of. Yeah, he speaks Mexican. Not kind of. Well, I guess kind of.
How about he speaks French?
Wait, what?
How about he speaks French?
Does he speak French?
Yes.
Oh my God, I don't know what he was speaking. He didn't do a very good job at it, that's for sure. But he was saying a little bit later on that, what do you mean there's only 3 graves in a chimney there? So it's important that there's only 3 graves in a chimney. But I'm a little confused, but we'll talk about that at the end anyways. But yeah, we're talking about where. Anyways, go on, Dave.
You guys are Chaneville. Yeah, so
French? That was French?
Oh, that was French, yeah.
Whew.
So again, we have do have one person dead, but that person is drained of blood.
Drained of blood?
Drained of blood.
That's a vampire then.
You would think.
Yeah, but no, it's a werewolf. Oh, wait. Oh, cat's out of the bag. I mean, dog's out of the bag. Whatever.
Werewolf out of the bag. So
about a sanitarium that allows patients to roam outside for therapy. Edward Stewart. Good point, Edward. Oh, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, but he's going there and Gideon. Yeah, where's his voice come from? But he is. Somebody said he's a warlock. So
yes, he is.
Could be he's just making him think he heard his voice, or he's
because what's her name? saw on his palm the circle and the 5-star. So he had
a pentagram. Betty saw a pentagram on both palms of Gideon, who always keeps his palms hidden, I guess, And it's funny later on when he does show them, because the doctor asked, do you got the pentagram symbols on your hands? And it just looked like a little marker added on there, and very like worn out, like the pen, you would write your notes on or something on you. See, I did that a couple times. I would write notes on there in class and go like this. I'm getting 100%. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. But I'm like, they just wrote that on there, and it was that.
Yeah, it was definitely, made for TV.
Yeah. Lots of excitement here on Sunday nights with Dino and Dave.
Yeah, we got a lot of people watching those, so it's great.
Yeah.
So we get there to the farmhouse, and it's like literally the Olsen farmhouse. It's an old place, wood
like
plank.
Yeah.
It's a really nice kind of garden. There's a well feature right there that works. The graves are off to the left and everything.
Well, later on, he says about that well, oh, it's ice. What did he say? It's ice cold, like glacier. Yeah. And I'm like going, you drop that bucket down there, I'm not drinking water out of that.
Would you not do that?
I mean, but wouldn't you be getting something bad inside you, right? I mean,
I'd probably be on the toilet afterwards. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Back in the day when they had wells like that, brick walls, and they would drop a bucket, they would bring the water up to boil it, right? Am I wrong? Ooh. Or did they add stuff in there to kill?
I don't think they would add stuff directly into the groundwater.
Because I mean, mosquitoes alone. Can you drink mosquito larvae? I mean,
I don't know, but I'm getting grossed out by this conversation.
Okay, let's move on then. Okay, so
no, but I think it's fascinating. Like
it is.
What do you do? Do you boil it? I would imagine you would.
I think like they would have to.
Yeah, you would have to.
Yeah, because there's just too much going on. Worms, you would have worms all the time. Okay, let's move on.
It's funny. Here in Los Angeles, we have Spring Street. And so many people think it is spring because it's, spring, summer, fall. It's not, because
I would think in California, all these springs. Yeah.
All these natural springs. And a lot of the older buildings built in the late 1800s, they had to drop gigantic I-beams underground because of the water levels were so high. They're not high today, I'll tell you that. But
yeah, that's why so many died of dysentery. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you would. And they would have had to boil it. Anyways, he just makes it to the gate, Dave. And he turns around. He doesn't go through the gate. He's just, is anybody home? Anybody home? And then you hear the dogs barking.
Yeah, but they're not the dogs.
Well, no. It was just one dog, a wolf.
It is a wolf.
Yeah. It was a wolf. And he leaves. And it was annoying me how many times he went back and forth to this place.
But didn't he go and meet Mildred during this time?
Not the first time.
Oh.
First time, he just goes to the gate, and he turns around and he hears the dog because nobody answered.
Okay. All right.
And he turns around, but he immediately ends up going back there. But yeah, no, he just gets the growl and goes back.
Oh, that's right. Because when he does go back, the dogs kind of act differently when he gets to the gate.
And that's where he bumps into Pierre. Pierre. Yeah, Pierre. That's
why do you have a guard man named Pierre?
I have no idea, but he's a sheep herder. So
yes, we see him herding sheep later.
Yeah, he's got another guy helping him who definitely don't speak English.
Oh, ghost.
And they're arguing. Oh, believable, but back and forth.
Yeah, because I think they killed the family. We've killed the family. We burnt down the farmhouse. Here's some silver.
200 years ago. And,
yeah. At the end, they tell us that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, at the end, they tell us when he gets the cross, and he goes, "Yeah, we shot them with silver bullets."
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he does go into it. Okay, yeah, because he says Yeah, he says basically there's wolves on the loose and they're after my sheep and stuff like that. But why is the sheep herder in control of the chain and the lock on the front of the gate?
I don't know.
And the gate doesn't need to be locked because they've got 4-foot fence around the whole area. So it doesn't make any sense, Dave. I don't know.
It doesn't.
Let me pull some of these up.
Hello, Amy Fox.
Yes, hey Amy Fox.
Okay, I want to talk about Linda Marsh for just a moment because she is still alive. She is
go ahead.
In her 80s now, 86. Did you think she was beautiful?
Linda Marsh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, without that big, long, fake blonde wig,
right?
Of course, she was a very beautiful woman.
More beautiful in person than they made her to look beautiful here. I thought they did an awful job.
In person? Did you see her in person?
No, but in regular pictures of how she looks in real life, she's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I don't know what was up with the wig, other than to make her look maybe odd and a little bit different. I mean, I don't know.
Well, they gave her extended fingers. That was weird.
But yeah, I don't know what was up with the long blonde wig, but yeah, she's a very beautiful woman. And let's move away from that because I'm a sickly in love. Is what I am, Dave.
Well,
Amy Fox, what did she say here? Let me highlight this. Yes, my father grew up on the farm, and he started the fire stove oven and boiled the water until age 16 when they finally had indoor plumbing bathroom. Yeah, I would think anything coming from the well, and I'm not talking about people who have wells hooked up to their faucets and stuff in the house. I'm talking about bricks. You drop a bucket and get the water up. So you're right, Amy. There's no way you're not going ahead and boiling that stuff. Hey, PBR. Peanut butter and wait, what? No. Good to see a PBR Street Gang. He's out on Fridays and Saturday nights causing havoc. That's what PBR is doing. Okay, so yes, very beautiful, Dave. Move on.
All right. So after we meet her, we see that she drinks from the same cup that he does.
Oh, when he goes back after the Pierre situation.
Yeah, he's returned now because he keeps being drawn to this farmhouse.
Yeah, I got in my notes here. I goes, he comes back, he goes back, he comes back. Yeah, it just keeps going back and forth.
He does. He's drawn to her and the farmhouse.
He's Mildred this time. Yeah.
Mildred goes in to talk to her parents. The quote is, "This one's mine.
You go get yours," or something.
You go do your own hunting.
Yeah, that's it. That was a lot different than what I said, Dave. But yeah, that was weird. And you would think Dr. Joel would have heard that and said, wait a second. What's going on?
You would have heard from me?
Yeah, no.
But there's down the street. I'll see you later.
Like werewolves don't have, well, I guess they have an allure. Like the woman, maybe she's giving off some kind of scent, to the male, and he's smelling her pheromones. Thus bringing every man from miles, to listen. I don't know. I thought it was quite odd that Dr. Joel fell in love pretty darn quickly with this woman. I mean, listen, beautiful or not, it was like back in the 30s and 40s movies in black and white where you would watch them and the guy would come up and go, Margaret, you know that I love you. And they just met at the party. They had 2 cocktails and they were introduced. And he's like, there's nobody else for me. Will you marry me? And she goes, oh, I would love to marry. You know what I mean? Within an hour, they're getting married. I love that about those old movies.
I do too. There was one that we saw. In fact, you were hosting with Ted. And Lionel Atwill was in his science lab and he kisses this girl and one of the beakers explodes in the background.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I knew what movie that was.
That just cracked me up. And Catherine Stewart has educated us to saying PBR is Pabst Blue Ribbon, possibly.
Catherine Kelly. Yeah, you know what? Probably is. Yeah. And welcome, Catherine. But you are probably right. Is she right, PBR Street Gang? Is that it? But yeah, anyways.
Then we go back to the sanitarium library, and we've got all these books.
Oh, we didn't talk about the mom and dad did come out too, though, right?
They did.
Yeah, he drinks from the well, and then Mildred drinks, and then I thought some kind of magical thing was going to happen there, like they both drunk,
and I thought he was going to pass out.
Okay,
like it was poisoned. Like we got him.
Yeah, something. But then the old couple, Mr. and Mr. Squires, her old parents are behind her, and that was a little weird too.
Mrs. Squire is 70 years old at this filming.
I wish she would have said, old Mrs. Squires would have said, Mildred, get back in your room, or something like that. That would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
Yeah. Say, Rocky says she should have done that, say. Yeah. Put Mildred in her place, say. But Rocky's going to give you a smack on the lip. Anyways, go on.
200 acting credits to her as well.
Holy Moses.
Yeah. I know.
Well, most of the people in this episode only have like a few. Like
very few.
Yeah, very few. So he could be professional bull rider, and the bull he rode for his win was Street Rider P. Gigi coming up with them. Okay, there you go. So he ends up leaving. And they go back to, this is where they go back to, I think the library. Not a great library. I don't know. Betty's studying.
Well, as I said, it's the sanitarium's library, so it's a little bit limited.
I guess so. Yeah.
And they're all hanging around reading, and
they're at the table. And there's something about Betty too. I don't know. She seems a bit wild.
She's a looker.
Yeah, she's a wild hippie chick, man.
This is when they talk about the pentagrams on the guy's hand, and Gideon left all these books, and
he left all these books on lycanthropy.
Yeah,
and Dr. Joe goes, what? Like, what's going on? And you start seeing the concerned look on Dr. Joe's face because of all these books, and I think he knows something's up, but he's got this pull towards Mildred, but yet he's hearing things about Gideon now. And it's funny when that Dr. Tom, is that the name?
Dr. Tom's the older guy sitting on that chair in the background.
But he starts to interpret what's going on here at the table with the lycanthropy and stuff like that. And he starts to read something out of here about silver, spells and this and that. And what did I put down? He talks about him being a warlock.
Yes.
Dang it. This one's, no, I got to turn it over. He goes, Gideon's a warlock and in league with the werewolves is what he says. And I'm like going, Dr. Tom seems pretty smart, just coming right out with it like that. He figured everything out. I don't know.
You got a lot of time to read when you're in a library in a sanitarium with no patients.
But he was saying, listen, I think you're, and Dr. Joe's making it so that, hey, I don't want to seem like I'm nuts, but this is all very, very strange, very weird. So,
and he's talked to a few people about this home, and Gideon always says, yeah, people can see the home from my window in my, little room, my cell. Yeah. And I wish they had gone up to do that,
Yep.
And, but we know Betty did. Because Betty, unfortunately, is not long for this world.
No. David McCallum passed away September 25th, 2023. Rest in peace, Edward Stewart. Not sure how old he was, but yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. Has anyone seen it now? So you know what PBR is. That's right.
He was in every episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah. He's a very recognizable man if you watched anything during the 70s. So, but yeah, again, the sci-fi music is kind of weird when he's running from the Mildreds. Boop, 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 boop. It's just like out of Doctor Who or something like that.
That's a good tie-in. Yes, I agree.
But he runs back to Mildred's house again, to the old farmhouse, and this time he runs right into her arms. But I think there's a lot of other stuff going on the way, Dave. Tell me about it.
Well, wasn't there a sheep that he saw?
Yeah, we see Betty, like she's hiding in the meadows too. Like she's watching in the meadows, like Betty. Like what's she doing out there?
I don't know. It was a weird sets and just weird individuals, you know, when you have the French guy.
And then you don't got wolves really running after
but you instead of
sheep,
they
look like German Shepherd Labrador mixes. But anyways, go ahead.
True. But you know, you have like a sheep that runs, and this was kind of, you know, foreshadowing.
The sheep runs very badly.
You have two wolves following, and then you have like a golden retriever after that. And I'm like, what the hell's the golden retriever doing here? But then it's like, well, wait, that's Mildred because she's blonde.
Thank you, PBR Street Gang. Yeah, now everybody knows. It's from Apocalypse Now. Okay, I'm sorry, Dave. I interrupted him again.
That's okay. That happened at the beginning of our show today.
We popped on the stream, and Dave's going, what is something wrong with your audio?
I couldn't hear him. He was talking. I'm like, oh, crap. I'm checking everything on my side. His mic was off.
Every now and then I'll palm on it, put my palm on it, or I just did it again, and I'm sure I was going in and out. Anyways, okay, so a bunch of stuff's going on, and he backs up as the wolves are chasing the sheep. He backs up behind a bush, like that's going to help him, you know. Thought that was kind of funny.
Right, but then I think the wolves turn on him, and he's like running, but they catch up, and then they're like in his face, and he's got a, you know, branch from a tree and everything, and then the dog comes up and lets him get away.
Oh no, that's later, Dave.
Okay, all right, that's fine. But I mean,
but that's when he leaves. That's when he leaves from the scene we're talking about.
One of the things too that you mentioned, he keeps going to the house.
I know we're confused, Dave, but he's there and he's leaving.
Sometimes she's home, sometimes she's not, and then sometimes he just turns. Boom! Here she is. Yes. But I love you. No, if you love me, don't ever come back.
Well, that's the interaction before he was chased by the wolves, because she tells him basically, you know, again, I love you. Oh, I love you with all of my heart. I would die for you, she says. She's a werewolf. She'd die for him. I'm like going, okay, I know we only got 30 minutes for this episode, but segment or whatever, but yeah, how are you in love with him? I don't understand what's going on. But just because he looks handsome to you, or I mean, what's going on? She's sickly in love. Anyways,
well, see, they're looking for Gideon.
Meanwhile, her parents are behind her, waiting for him to leave, like you said, and then she says, "Just go." But is this where she told? No, we're not at the end, are we?
I love the part where the parents are all like, "You should come here after dark. We're busy during the day." And I'm like, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Is this where she tells him to come back? Are we at the end of this?
Not quite yet, because we have to find Betty's body. After, you know, he comes back to the sanitarium one time and she was out. What do you mean she's not back yet?
But Mildred didn't tell him to come back in the morning yet, did she?
No, not yet.
He's got to go back again? Okay.
It's not like the 6th or 7th trip to the house.
Okay.
Come back, but...
So, yeah, Betty is found in the meadow, killed, like a serial killer, like got her, but it's all the wolves, you know, so... You know, and then they asked Gideon. That's when he asked him about how long you had, because now it's just Gideon, the doctor, and the other doctor, Tom, I think. Dr. Tom, the other guy's just way up on the top one. Listen, these were really cool kind of platforms. I love them.
Like such a hick, like piece of straw with a little seed pod at the end. Like, what are you?
But Gideon makes it seem like he woke up with the pentagrams and he doesn't know what's going on. And the doctor's like, well, why did you send them away? And he said he sent Betty away because he didn't like her. She seemed uppity.
Yeah, and he also said that he sent the other one to be dead because they caught him snooping around. I hate snoops was his quote.
Yeah, so he is somewhat guilty. He is guilty, and he's acting. But I don't know if there's any magic involved with him. Nothing seemed to show that he was a warlock.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever. It is.
But then we're at the farmhouse the last time, and she says the greatest quote. Like they're going, I want to be with you. Don't you want to, be with me type of thing? And he goes, not being with you is, quote, tearing me apart. And I'm like, she's a werewolf. She's going to tear you apart.
It's like tearing me apart. Yeah. Listen, what got me was just how the hell did they fall in love like that? I don't know. It was weird. The storyline didn't, I don't know, flow very well when it came to the premise of the episode. I mean,
no, and this is actually what they were. It could have been a lot shorter, a lot more succinct, and brought in a third little episode to that little, 50-minute thing.
Yeah. Mr. Ed, I would tell you that, it's hard to find it's not hard to find Night Gallery. I mean, it's not on Amazon or any of your big places unless you buy Blu-rays and stuff like that of them. But if you search Night Gallery on archive.org, it will come up. It is there. So you can see them there. So, there you go. Anyways, continuing on. Yeah, they're in love. And this is where she turns around, looks at him and says, she gives him instructions on what to do, right? She tells him, okay,
you need a prayer book.
You need she says tomorrow morning.
What if I don't own one? Find one.
Yeah, that's what she tells him. Tomorrow morning, just before sunrise, bring a book of prayers and go over to the 3 graves and read the services for the burial of the dead. Yeah, I can speak today. And then she kind of looks up, opens her eyes, and they're all blood red.
Oh yeah.
That was even hotter, Dave.
It was hot.
Yeah.
Matched her fingernails.
Yeah, I'm like
whiteness of her wig.
So she says, and meanwhile you're hearing wolves starting to get, act up in the back and stuff like that. And I'm like going, okay, well, then he takes off running and he starts to get chased by the dogs, like you said, and they do catch up to him, of course, because they're faster than him. And he puts a wooden stick through it. And I always find it funny that these people find sticks and put it in their mouths, and they avoid getting bitten up and everything. But he did. Listen, Mildred turns into a wolf, chases back and bites her mom in the butt and her dad in the butt, and tells him, "Get out of here! This one's mine. This one's mine, Sonny." And he escapes and he runs back to the house.
He runs back, and then the next scene is the sun coming up over the mountain range,
and he's walking. It was pretty bright out. Shouldn't he have been there a little bit earlier?
I think so.
Yeah.
You sleep.
He woke up late.
Too
much coffee. Yeah, I think I'll get there on time. Yeah.
Sometimes you get the deluxe breakfast. So he gets there and he's like, I can't go on an empty stomach, please. He Pop-Tarts, he's something. I don't know. Yeah, and what's funny too is he refuses the cross and everything like that. I'm like, I would have taken the cross. He goes over to the graves and starts reading, and as soon as he starts reading, you hear this from the background, and he
he didn't read very much of that. The services.
No,
it seemed like he started to read it, and then all of a sudden it took effect like that quick. They're like, "Oh, the angels of the Lord," and everyth's gone with 5 words. I mean, because he passes out to the ground like you said, man. And
that was funny what you just did. You went, ta-da! Oh. He does pass out. And then the French guy, Pierre, and I think it was Dr. Tom,
I haven't done one of these in a while, Dave.
Because Bo's like right over there.
Okay, so Pierre comes out of nowhere. Thank God they were following him, huh?
Yeah.
And what is
he going to do with that prayer book?
Dr. Tom was going, Pierre, je t'aime vous there, Pierre. Where you at? He says, I'm over here. Well, that wasn't French. What was that? I don't know.
We have just lost all our French listeners.
So he's Pierre and Dr. Tom pick him up, and he turns around and looks and just and this is what we got to talk about a second. Now the house, the old farmhouse vanishes, Dave. It's only the chimney stack and the 3 graves.
And the 3 graves and a really crummy well.
So Dave, was this a werewolf story, a ghost story, or both, or something totally different? I don't know what to make of it.
Well, I do know what to make of Kathy, because Kathy has just come in. She's had company for dinner, and she apologizes for being late. So, apology accepted.
Oh, look at that new profile pic too, Kathy. Good to see you, Kathy.
And we should say hi to Ezra too. It's
never too late for dinner. And hey, Ezra, what's going on, Ezra? Good to see you. Good to see you. So what is it? A ghost story? A werewolf story?
It's just a really great story.
Because if it's a werewolf story, how's the house disappear, Dave?
No, okay. This really reminded me of an old-time radio program where these people are having a party and a bomb hits them in World War II. And occasionally a traveler comes across this location. There's this house and they go in and there's this big party going on. And then again, the house blows up. But it's that type of, it's part memory. It's part werewolf. It's part ghost. It's a really great story. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. And I was shocked because I looked down, I'm like, it's been 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Normally when I go through these, to watch, it's like, I'll pause it. I'll, do like that. I actually kept up with my notes during the whole freaking time that I watched it.
No, I agree with you. It was an excellent episode, a segment. But yeah, it's kind of a twist of werewolves and ghost story, kind of, because the house vanishes, which gives you this, like everything you said, little bit of the supernatural, the paranormal.
What happened to Gideon when these 3 people then were read the book of prayer and their spirits went on or whatever, or they were vanquished, was Gideon creating the illusion of having the house there? I love it because I think it's part time travel.
Yeah, it could be too.
So I think there's some time travel elements. I think everything was really great.
Yeah, it could have made a great made-for-TV movie, maybe even. Yeah, with more details put into it and, explain a little bit more and all of that. But I think it makes for a great small segment on Night Gallery. It was a really good one. Was it one of the best? No, but it was pretty good.
No, it was at least a 7+.
6.8? Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do a 7.5.
You got to go back and watch the first season.
Kathy is making fun of you.
Say wolf again, please, Dino. Wolf, wolf, wolf. Is it wolf? Wolf? Is that?
You're from Cleveland. It's okay.
Dave, listen, I know I got a Cleveland accent. It's cold outside when the wolves are here. I don't know. Wolves? See, I said wolves this time. How do you say it, Dave? Don't think about it. What? Wolf.
Wolf. WOLF.
Well, I know that, but the L silent.
No, you don't. You do WOFE. Woof.
Thanks.
Say hello to Sweet Indigo because she gave you some money.
Yeah. Thank you, Sweet Indigo. $10 super chat. A Sheba dog. I like how it explains it. Sheba dog squeezing a big red heart. Thank you, Sweet Indigo. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to get a little dark here now going into the second segment. Silent Snow, Secret Snow, because that's the end of that episode. We're done.
All right. Do we want to take a small break here and talk about what we're doing in the future?
Sure, let's do that. And again, much love, Sweet Indigo, and everybody who does support this channel, and everybody who continues their memberships and Patreon, all that good stuff. Because even though Dino's been, low key here, lots of new and fun stuff coming up in the future here. So this year's been a mental break of sorts. So anyways, Dave, we got some good stuff coming up here, don't we?
Yes, we're still going to be here every single Sunday.
Yes, we are. And
at least through June 22nd, because that's my last thing.
Well, and we even got a surprise. Well, Dave will tell us about it, but check out iTunes. I'd like to ask you guys about iTunes. If you guys got a phone and you got podcasts and you could search the Late Late Horror Show, and you got an iPhone or whatever, if you can just hit 5 stars for us, leave us a review or something like that, it really helps there too. And nobody's really, it's hard to do that on iTunes. It's hard to get those people to comment and stuff like that. There you go. Yeah. Because I just uploaded all our Kolchak episodes, and they're fun to listen to. I even enjoy listening back with me and Dave going back and forth on those episodes.
Say Kolchak one more time. No.
Kolchak, werewolf, werewolf.
That would have been that. Was no wonder you don't like that episode. It was a Kolchak werewolf.
Gabby likes the way I say. Well, do you like the way I say it's code outside too? CODE. Everybody always told me about that one. It's not code. It's cold. Cold. Okay, Dave, tell us. Go on. I'm sure.
All right. Thank you. May 11th is our next Sunday. We're going to be having a Art Bell tribute show, and we're going all the way back to Egypt and the Sphinx and all of that with Graham Hancock. It is the July 7th, 1996 episode, and we're going to be talking about that, and it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
The week after, May 18th, X-Files episode 3. Those have been doing great. Thank you for joining us on those. May 25th, we're going to do Scooby-Doo episode 7 and 8, followed by Circle of Fear, The Dead We Leave Behind.
Yeah, we're giving Circle of Fear another shot. People did come back to watch later. So we're going to give that another shot. We'll see how it goes.
And then Saturday, June the 7th, we are going to do a marathon hangout.
Wait a second. Hold on. Well, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead. I stop interrupting. Continue with all our episodes, then I'll go on.
Okay. 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the current.
Lego pieces just everywhere.
Okay. I hear you.
Yeah.
Anyway, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. and that is Eastern Standard Time. So it's 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
That's a long time
on my side. So it's 5 hours. Dave, Dino, we're probably going to be doing some cooking, or at least talking about food during that time. We'll probably have maybe a guest or two. You never know. But it'll be fun, and it'll just be like us hanging out as Art Bell did for a 5-hour show.
Yeah, a lot of dumb jokes, a lot of just. It's going to be a different show, that's for sure. That
reminds me about how smart Bo is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about it.
I asked Bo the other day. I go, "What is 5 minus 5?" She said nothing. Thank you. I'm here all week.
I thought you really were going to tell me something about her being smart.
No.
Anyways, Kathy says your name too, Kathy. Kathy, do I say that differently, Dave? Kathy.
Not that I have heard.
Kathy. How do I say it? I'm sorry, I said it about 10 times. Anyways, cool. A 5-hour tour. A 5-hour tour.
That means it's 4.5 hours too much for Dino and Dave. We'll see.
Dave's going to be 2 hours into it and go,
No, GJ, I'm not leaving. That was just our last. We keep so many weeks ahead of our plans for everything. And so it's just our last entry is like June 22nd or something like that.
Yeah, Dave,
I feel like a 5-year contract. I can't go anywhere.
Dave's got the shows booked or whatever, set up for like a couple months in advance, usually, always. So we know what's going to happen. Oh boy. Yeah, I knew you shouldn't have taken that X-Lax. I told you, never take that before the show.
Well,
never. Oh, there's Bo.
I drank from the well. There's Bo. Say hi, Lizzie.
Hey, hello there. Yeah.
Why does she never look at the camera? There, she's waving.
As Ezra says, you should hear the pronunciation that people have said my name, Ezra Carter. Ezra Carter. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I'm sure people do. It's a good thing. Good. I'm glad it's at least a good thing, Kathy. Edward Stewart says the painting of Silent Snow, Secret Snow can be seen hanging on the office wall in an episode of Columbo called Identity Crisis Season 5. And me and Dave were talking about this. We didn't see the painting between these segments of this one, Silent Snow, Secret Snow, which was a little odd. I didn't catch it.
I didn't either.
Unless we go back and we go, wait, what happened? And this just goes into how weird this episode is, or this segment. My first name, Ezra. Ezra. Yeah, I mean, how can they get that wrong? Ezra. Listen, even my name, people say, they say Dino. And I'm like, no, it's Dino. I mean, D-I-N-O. Yeah, oh, they say Dino all the time. Especially the younger generation. They say Dino. And I'm like, it's Dino. But
maybe
anyway.
they're watching the Jetsons too much. Or no, not the Jetsons, the Flintstones.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they don't probably know what the Flintstones are.
True.
Okay, so Silent Snow, Secret Snow. It's narrated by Orson Welles, and it's kind of a 15-minute story narrated by Orson Welles. Even though the three characters, there's technically four, well, no, there's three. There's the mother, the father, and Paul. Paul, the small child.
Yes, the son.
And the doctor comes in a little bit later. Deidre talks.
We also have a school teacher.
But it really revolves around Paul. How would you say he is? Like 11, maybe? 12?
Yeah, I was thinking 12 years old.
12 years old. And the way Orson Welles tells the story is kind of interesting and kind of spooky in a way. How can I put this? It's strange, Dave, because
I kind of wonder if he did the narration after he saw the cuts, or if he just had something to read and then they dubbed in the narration where they needed it.
Yeah, because the narration goes with the viewing that you get, the storyline, and the way the kid is acting, and it just seems this segment is very deep. And at the end, you got to figure out how to interpret this, because it's basically about, and listen, I know we can get through this pretty quick. There's not a whole lot to it, Dave, but there's a child named Paul, and what's going on?
Well, we see him in a schoolhouse. Let's talk about. Let's
see how you start this off, because man, the way this is going to end, I've got stuff to say, but it's all about his secret, Paul's secret. Go ahead.
Okay, so Paul is sitting in a.
No, let me go. Oh no, you go.
And he's kind of he's absent-minded. He's looking out the window. He's not paying attention to the teacher. But he's got a weird snow globe on his desk, that he occasionally shakes up, because this kid is obsessed with snow. And snow follows him. He has dreams of snow. His dad says, "Hey, buddy, let's go on a field trip. Can we go to the North Pole?"
Can I read something real quick?
Yeah.
Because I thought this was interesting. Somebody interprets this story, and then we can start getting into it and talking about it. Somebody talks about this story as, okay, here I go. Let me read this. This is the story of a child who, and I don't agree. There could be two interpretations, and this could be one of them. This is a story of a child who appears to be autistic, and the pain his parents go through to reach him. Autism was barely on the radar in those days, which is true, and it's possible that there's a supernatural element involved. The boy sits in a classroom in a kind of reverie as he stares at a snow globe and imagines himself standing, frolicking in a snowstorm. He is very bright, but only comes out of his almost catatonic episode when screamed at or spoken to over and over. This is an indeed haunting presentation with Orson Welles voiceover giving it real depth. So I wanted to read that because I thought that was a good interpretation, but one that I don't think I'm going with.
It's also one I'm not going with.
Okay.
My interpretation is just a kid turning 13. Where he literally, his only line in the episode is screaming at his mother, quote, "I hate you." Well, duh. Right. You know, it's like you're turning 13. The idea of snow is to me, the metaphor is that there's so much else in life I want to do, but I'm stuck here in this place. And that the snow represents the outside world. But no, we're stuck at school. We're stuck at home. We're stuck with parents. We're stuck with doctors telling us what is correct. And all of a sudden, the snow represents freedom.
Okay. That's another interpretation. Whereas I was getting Dave.
Yes.
See, it's funny how people can get different opinions on, and it's hard to explain to you guys if the people, you guys in the chat didn't or listened to this, didn't watch it, because it can be interpreted so many different ways. Take it from me and Dave, this was dark. It had a dark undertone. It like something was really bothering this kid, and he was, in the way Orson Welles was reading, and I'm going to talk about some of the things he said, Orson Welles, in the storyline part of it. And I always am an open book, and I talk about all the time how my childhood was, you know what I mean? And I know this starts to get a little bit depressing talking about, but it's part of my life. And when this kid started going through, and this kid seemed to be going inward and dreaming of something that he couldn't have, because the world that was around him was not something he wanted to be in, you know. And again, this is my mind going there and going, I'm interpreting this in that way, because he wanted nothing to do with it. And he kept going to this secret place, and Orson Welles kept going his secret and kept talking about, like, there was something else, which the ending of this, his secret, and the way the voice was talking to him in his dreams and even while he was awake about where he was going, was very scary. But I kept going inward, but yet I was watching and I'm going, the parents don't seem to be evil in any way, which made me go, okay, then so what's going on? You know what I mean? But it did seem like he was going inward, and that plays off of what you just said. You know, he wants to be somewhere else. He doesn't. It's boring.
It is boring. And I think we're just graduating from the 1960s.
Yeah.
And, we've had a very turbulent decade. He still has parents that are literally a decade earlier, from the 1950s, when the dad's reading the paper first thing in the morning. It's literally.
You know how much I hated that?
Oh, I love it.
Did you? I was looking at, but the way the father had to be back then, like, so cold to their child, because I have to raise him with, I just can't see that. I need to hug my child every single day, and I need to love him and care him. But again, I had some things in my younger life that's why I want to be that way. So who knows? I don't know. I get what you're saying.
What I loved about that part was the newspaper is just called the Daily, and you can't see the other side. It's not like the Daily Inquirer, the Daily Times, the whatever. It's just a generic newspaper. But it was, when you pointed out too, the dad, when he looked at his son, just kind of looked at him. There wasn't any smile. There wasn't any, hey, this is my kid, man.
Because it came out of the clear blue. Like, he's just started acting like this, which is another reason I thought the interpretation that I read seemed like you can interpret that maybe. But then you look at the story and it's like, this is just starting to happen. He's like 12 years old and the parents are just starting to notice that this boy's going inward and he's not acting right and he's looking off and like at things he shouldn't be looking at. I would be going, do you see something that you shouldn't be, and good interpretation there too. Snowstorms was
what you just said also spurred something too. What if it's kind of a subgenre of homosexuality where hey, there's something wrong with Junior. He's not acting as he should. He's not, liking the springtime that we have around us. I mean, we're literally walking down the streets of eucalyptus trees, areas where it would never snow. But, then in his mind, it's like, the trees are bare and you've got, snow and drifts and everything like that, to the point where it's coming through the window of his place. It's like, it's going to be part of who he is, when he grows up. So it might be something alternative. It might be again, I still stand by my idea of it's just, he's going to do something different than his parents, and his parents are not going to improve. And you had said that there were some narration quotes. Mine is, the parents were hostile presences in his life. That is the one that stood out to me.
Okay, I didn't read that one or mark that one down, which is, again, and we're going deep on this one because it is so mysterious and so dark. And again, I felt, even though I liked the segment, and this sounds funny, it also was very depressing. I mean, I felt, at least for me, probably because of the emotions and the feelings, of this child, just the way he was feeling. Because the child didn't say much. It was a lot of Orson Welles telling the story and narrating the story. And I'll tell you, Dave, when it came to okay, here's another scenario. This is what I started getting towards the end of this. Because the snow, the secret, the voice that the kid, Paul, kept hearing, kept drawing him to the dreams, to the snow, to hearing footsteps of the postman, which he kept saying over and over during his dreams, that would wake him up. And it's like it kept pulling him, and it was pulling him. And one of the things that were said by the voice is the snow is speaking to him that soon peace and cold will come. And there were, those are strong words. And to hear that at the end of this, when the boy was really deep into this snowstorm thing and it was encompassing everything, and you hear soon peace and cold will come, it almost sounds like the kid may be passed away already and is stuck in limbo or something. And they're saying, okay, the peace and cold, that's scary. I mean, what does that mean? But when I heard that, I interpreted it that way. I'm like, maybe he's stuck in limbo, because this was an odd episode.
It was very weird. And the more I think about it, the weirder it gets.
Do you see what I'm saying when I mention that?
Really kind of do. With that, I actually thought he was going to disappear. Having seen
that would be Twilight Zone. Jumping in the
Twilight Zones, I thought he was going to just go, yeah, I'm going to choose this world. And we might see him jump out of the window into snow, and his parents coming into the room, and it's springtime outside. So what world did he end up going into?
I'm sorry.
I thought it was going to end.
The other thing, Dave, was everything you just heard me say, about, what did I write down? Soon peace and cold will come. I think this was the final words that Orson Welles spoke. Flower becomes a little small seed. So that, again, I throw that in with have you passed away? Are you now realizing you're dead, and you're going to be, that flower is going to turn to that seed, which in turn will eventually rise again and bloom and become, if you believe in reincarnation or anything like that. But see how deep this segment kind of gets us thinking? I don't know. I was all over the place, Dave. I was just like,
it does. And it's weird because
and it ends like that.
You don't know where it's going until it ends. You have 15 minutes of a ride, and you don't know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
Early on, I wrote down, and to lighten the mood here, it keeps on snowing heavier and heavier, and this guy keeps wanting to be out in the snow. My quote was, "Who is this guy? Santa?"
That's, yeah. I mean, it was. Dino, you are dark, but I get it. Well, listen, I am a horror fan. I endured the first half of my life, very many perils, very, very much abusive situations and things that created me to be the loving father I am today. Okay. And I will admit that there's nothing more special to me than the people in my life, my kids especially. Okay. And it maybe makes me a little dark in some situations and why I like horror movies and other things. But I can be dark at times, sweet indigo. But I tell you what, and I'm not just saying this. Listen, I've been told this over and over, and I'm just making a point. I think I got a big, big heart, and I'd be there for anybody anytime they need it. So, but I get what you're saying. I interpreted it quite darkly. But I tell you what, though, Dave, am I wrong? They have to watch it, and they'll probably end up feeling some of these same things too, because it was a weird episode. What are you doing? You scratching your ankles again? I told you to stop doing that. Hey, Shadow in the Tomb. Oh, Bo's all over you there, I guess. Okay, yeah.
A couple notes I also had is how fun it would have been to work on this set, where you have it simultaneously both springtime and wintertime. And I thought it was interesting too, where like the parents are all, there's something wrong. Let's call the doctor. Yeah. And the doctor just can't see him. He goes, and the weirdest part of the doctor examination was that like he asked him to read out of a book, and like the kid reads out of the
just
book.
Said, kiss my okay. Cats, they don't care where they turn.
I tell you.
Yeah. Yes, everyone has a dark side. The point is not to live there. Yeah. Oh, exactly. 100%. I tell you what, anyways, we're not going to go down that road, but you mentioned though, when we were talking earlier, and you could touch on this a little bit. We still got 15 minutes. How it made you feel like a Twilight, or we can end it. That chick, how it made you feel. What made it feel like a Twilight Zone episode to you? Because I know the points you made earlier.
Well, the very first thing was that it was in a Twilight Zone housing set. Yeah. I have seen this in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the set, street, yeah.
Yeah, and again, the idea that this kid could disappear and everything like that. And instead of it, the thing that I love about the Twilight Zone is it made you think, and question life and everything like that.
Yeah,
I will say that I did really, I didn't think I enjoyed this like right when I finished seeing it.
Yeah.
But like 30 minutes later, I'm like, ooh, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
thing.
No, I think because you're caught up in trying to dissect what's going on, and you're being told a story. And a lot of times with books, novels, and stuff like that too, and you're a reader, you'll read certain paragraph. Well, I believe you read books, right? You're a professor. um, there are stories that you'll get into, and the story's got to play out through the whole novel, right?
Mm.
So you'll read a paragraph, and you get invested in a character stuff, and you'll be like, okay, wait a second, that was weird, that was odd, I hate that happened. But then when you sit back, you're anticipating the rest of the paragraphs and what sections of the book, and even though you kind of hated what went on in those first couple paragraphs that you just might have read and put down, you're like, okay, but this is a great story, but yeah, I can't wait to hear. So that's kind of what's going on there too. After the fact, you go, oh yeah, that was good. That was excellent. That was a good episode. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what happens. This is definitely the deepest one out of all the night galleries that I've seen so far. And I'm on season 2, episode 5. We'll be going to 6 next. It was the deepest one, that's for sure. But yeah.
Sure beats the Frankenstein in the Crib I saw last week.
Oh my God. Well, listen, I missed those, 30 seconds or 1 minute of like an episode, a segment here, or there. And but this worked out good. I almost, after doing all of this, and we're at the end of talking about this episode,
Well, one last thing.
almost liking the second one better. A little bit more better. Listen,
Well,
a little bit more better, I said.
Don't make me call the doctor.
Oh boy.
There's something wrong with Dino.
Dino needs help. He's slurring. No, what?
But I think that these two episodes together were really great because they were so divergent between one another. It wasn't oh, let's do a ghost story or a vampire story next to the werewolf one. We did something that was extrinsic, and then we did something that was intrinsic to us.
Yeah.
I do think though that all of us, even my parents, were like, what's wrong with Dave? I think it's something that all of us do go through. And then, we're seeing it, excuse me, now from an adult point of view, how we were as kids. So maybe that plays into how great the, episode is as well. I'm sure there's been a time where, something wrong with Aiden,
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, childhood between the ages of 8 and 15 really are pretty up and down times when it comes to kids, and you're thinking all kinds of things, you're trying to figure everything out in life and all this other stuff. But anyways, Connie Clary gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Going to Heather Repka. Hey, Heather Repka, if you're there. Fluff Chick Productions. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Gino and Dave. That's my uncle Gino. No, I get it, misquoted there. It's funny you say Gino. I got an uncle named Gino, Dino and Gino. My grandmother, huh?
Isn't there one more too?
Well, there's
Gino,
a lot
Dino,
more.
And
no, just Gino and Dino. Okay. He's my uncle, and he was born 4 months earlier than me. Yes. My grandmother was in the hospital having a baby. My mom 4 months later had me. So think about that. So we were kind of best
leprechaun story.
Oh God, we were kind of best friends growing up too. I mean, but thank you, Connie, Fluffchick Productions. Really appreciate that. But yeah, no, that was weird. And people always. He was in my same elementary school for a little while, for like 2 years, and it was always Gino and Dino. Where's your? It was funny. Lots of stories. Anyway, Sally Skellington, hello, good to see you. Gino, Dino, and Dave and Bo. Yeah. Well, I haven't. fortunately, people leave. I haven't talked to my uncle in a long time, man. It's funny when my grandmother died and passed away, and she was the glue that held everything together. The whole big Italian family held everybody together, and she passes away, and everybody went their own way, and you never see. It's just odd the way that works.
It is. I miss growing up in a fairly large family where you'd have grandparents and great grandparents and uncles and aunts coming over and everything like that. But a lot of like my aunts and uncles didn't necessarily have kids, so I don't have cousins per se. I have like one, and the family is small now, and it's really sad to where it's like, on Thanksgiving it's just like, I'm just going to go out to dinner, or take my mom somewhere, it's very, it's sad that I don't have that, experience.
Yeah, you miss that stuff. I mean, of course, especially I was a kid during those times, my, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14, 15, and then that's when it happened and it all. Yeah. It's strange. It's strange. Anyways, yeah, that's it, Dave. I mean, we both enjoyed it. We both enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the next one too.
And what is the next one again?
I know the devil
Art
is not
Bell, Graham Hancock.
Well, yeah, that one. I was talking the next.
Yeah. And again, if you guys do want to go watch it, it's on archive.org. So there you go.
Yeah.
I put the link, but I'm not. You can. I don't want to get in trouble. Anyways, what?
I just said archive.org. It's not that difficult.
Right. Exactly.
It's not like /#ABC.
Kathy knows.
Percentage. Kathy knows everything
about the wolves.
But it's Canadian, so you have to go to archive.org.
Once there was a wolf that was code. Okay, I was going to do that anyway. So we'll save that for the marathon.
Oh no, we're going to save it for.
No, we'll sing Irish. We'll make up Irish pub songs.
Oh, I'll bring out my Dennis Day album.
Wait a second. Dennis Day. First of all, we get hit with copyright.
Yes, we would.
Because it don't matter how old that song is, some Brazilian agency will claim it. I'm not joking you. Go to the deepest depths of countries you wouldn't even believe, and they're the one that claims these old music things from the old time radio shows, which I don't know how they get away with it. I really don't. Anyways, I'm not even going there. I saw werewolf in Chinese restaurant. What? I saw werewolf in China.
It's a song by Warren Zevon.
Oh, is that song? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's end it. Listen, all I can say is I think I'll throw up an old time radio stream maybe tomorrow night or the next, so everybody can. And you know what? So a lot of these I am fixing. It's giving me time to fix. I know people don't like. I found this out, Dave. There are episodes out there that are so bad you can't listen to them, and I've got to a point to where I can fix them up so good they sound new, but people don't want to listen to them because they don't sound old. But if you want to hear an episode of something crystal clear and hear the story and stuff like that sounds good, and you never would have been able to clearly hear it at all, I'm doing that to some episodes. Like I remastered the Ellery Queen; those sound great, and it kind of retained a little bit of the old sound still. But what's going on? What are you laughing at?
My mind has just drifted, no pun intended, to snow and the zombies and the Nazis. Was that Dead Snow?
Dead Snow.
Oh God, such
Dead Snow. Dead Snow. That was actually not bad.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good horror movie if you like zombies of snow. That was Dave's cue to say, Dino, shut up and let's move on and let's go. Let's end the show.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
But oh geez, I'm gone. What the? Okay, wait, no, I gotta end it first. I'm just
All right,
leaving.
ripping into
End stream. Are you
cigars.
sure you want to end stream? What the heck are those, Dave?
Cigars.
Dave's gonna smoke a cigar and drink some coffee.